Alright, welcome back to another video. Um, so in today's video, I will be going over what would be the Cyber Strike OCG structure deck, what cards I like that are in it, at least so far. Obviously, we're not going to get all the cards. I highly doubt we're going to get Lightning Storm. It's unlikely we're going to get Imperm, but we'll go over that in a bit. Um, so I'll be going over the newer cards and more focus on them, some of the reprints that I think are good choices. I haven't seen all the cards in here yet, so let's just get into it. So, starting off with Attachment Cybern. I have mixed feelings about this one. You can target one dragon or machine cyber monster and it gains 600 attack. If it's equipped to a monster sent to the grave, you can target one dragon or machine cyber monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So that first effect isn't really useful. It can be useful when you're equipping it to cyber dark end dragon, or to cyber darkness dragon, or for cyber darkness dragon, but it in itself isn't really that useful. But I could see some potential with it. So, Cyberdark Chimera. Okay, let me just say, in my opinion, this is one of the best cards that could support a cyber deck. A lot of people are like, oh, Cyberdark, Cyber Dragon is terrible, and stuff like that. Cyberdark Chimera, if you just use 3 Cyberdark Chimera and like 3 Cyberdark Claw and 3 Cybernetic Horizon, and no other Cyberdark cards, and you still play it, you can get so much better with Cyber Dragons. But if you want to go the classic Cyber Dragon route, that is perfectly fine. You can discard one spell trap, add 1 power bond from your deck to your hand. You also can't fusion summon except dragon or machine cyber monsters. And once this turn, you can also use monsters from your graveyard as fusion materials by banishing them. Very good effect. I like it. So, hold on. Okay, never mind. I haven't used this website in a while, so if it's sent to the grave, you can send a Cyberdark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a name different from the cards already in your graveyard. Very nice. Later game, that's not really going to matter, but definitely a good card. One of the best cards I think is in this deck that can support the deck pretty well. Cyber Dragon, I don't need to go over Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon, Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon Veer is a nice reprint in here. I mean, it was a common before and stuff like that, but it's still a good reprint. I can't confirm if all of these are in here, but this did come with 40 cards, so. Natchester. If this is getting reprinted in here, I'm going to be so happy, because this card really changes the deck. Natchester is a huge card that you use Natchester to summon out your Cyberdark Chimera, discard, all sorts of stuff like that. It's amazing. Core, it's a searcher. Cyber Dragon hurts. My variant of the deck, I played 3 Natchester, 1 hurts, but it's still a good card. It still gives you your search. So, search, kind of, yeah. Horn, Edge, and Keel. Classic. Cannon and Claw, too. I should say the second more classic. But don't really need to go over these. These are all gonna be played at 1, really. Unless you want to play Edge at 3 and play a little slower variant. But my variant, I didn't play any of these. And I played Attachment Cyber, but it doesn't really matter. These 3. Cannon and Claw, you're definitely going to play both of those at 3. Langling. not going to be using it in the Cyber Dark / Cyber Dragon variant, but it's still a nice reprint for the Cyber Dark side of it. Why was this reprinted? It's a good card, but I'm definitely not going to be using it in the deck. I have mixed feelings about this card. I like it, but I hate it. I don't know that one. There's no picture provided. Pay 3,000 life points. Send one monster from extra to the graveyard. Yes, I can see that being useful, but not gonna really main it. It is an insect. It helps if you pair it with cyberdark chimera. You mill a cyber end dragon or cyberdark dragon. Then you use cyberdark or cybernetic horizon, mill the other, and then you can chimera power bond them together and summon cyberdark end dragon. Eternal Cyber. I have mixed feelings on Eternal Cyber. It has its uses, but at the same time, this first effect is basically useless. The second effect is where it really matters. I wouldn't really play this at more than a 1 of. You still have to properly summon the monster first. It would be better if it had an effect like it didn't have to be properly summoned, and you still got to summon it from the grave, but at a cost of like power bond, where you lose like half of its attack as life points, or destroy it during the end phase, regardless of protection. So, in other words, you wouldn't be able to protect it from its own destruction. But it's a card I could see definitely being played at 1 at most, if at all. Cyber Repair Plant, I wouldn't play it. It's more for Cyber Dragon variant rather than Cyber Dark / Cyber Dragon. Basically pure Cyber Dragons. Cyber Emergency is a nice reprint. I think this went up in price a little bit when Drytrons became a thing. So it's nice to see this get a reprint, but I wouldn't play it as I personally playing more of the Cyber Dark side of it, but still a nice reprint. Cyber Reload Fusion, amazing reprint, especially for those people who need Cyber Dragon Fusion, basically. Cyber Dark Impact, nice reprint, but not really worth playing anymore. Cyber Dark Inferno, once again a good reprint, but not really worth playing. Doesn't do anything really. I mean, it gives you your extra protection, I suppose. Future Fusion, I'm not even going to talk about. It's way too slow. Fusion Deployment. I haven't seen. I know this was a card, but I haven't seen it yet. It's. It does say it has to be specifically listed and summons from the hand or deck. So it's not going to be super useful because, I mean, at most it's going to be Cyber Dragon. But I can see some potential with it. It's a nice reprint, but it's not necessarily good for this in particular deck. Fusion Tag, same thing. Actually, this one could be a little more useful because you can reveal a fusion monster and like you can reveal like Cyber Dark Dragon, and you have Cyber End Dragon and Grave, and you can Chimera power bond them. So I can see this being a little more useful, but I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't say the deck is focused on getting out the Cyber Dark cyberdark End Dragon. Machine dupe, I'm not even going to talk about because bleh. Because of this right here. This should not be allowed. You should not be allowed to machine dupe that. Actually, machine duplication wouldn't be able to be played in here unless you would have at least 2 cyber dragons. Well, looks like there could be multiple of these and multiple hertz because it jumps from 3 to 6. But we will see. The deck could just not necessarily be finished yet. Like right here, it goes from 22 to 24. But Lightning Storm, wish we got it. We're not gonna get it. I'm probably gonna get Lightning Vortex instead. Maybe another Reigeki. Cyberdark Invasion. Once again, I have mixed feelings on this card. It can be useful, but to use it to its full potential, you're also relying on your opponent to have a dragon or machine deck. It adds to like Cyberdark End Dragon's effect and Cyber Darkness Dragon's effect, making more negates and stuff like that, higher attack, multiple attacks. And it has a destruction ability. It doesn't target, but I would say this would be a max 2. I wouldn't play it at 3, but I would still play it at least at 1. Cybernetic Revolution. I have not seen this card in ages. Tribute 1 Cyber Dragon special fusion monster from your extra deck that lists it in its material. It cannot attack directly and destroy during the end phase. If you're playing more of a Cyber Dragon side, I can see it, but it's not really worth playing either. I mean, you're tributing a Cyber Dragon just to get something in the grave that would already be in the grave. Infinite Impermanence, we're definitely not going to be getting this. Or, I'm sorry, we might get this, but highly unlikely. We're definitely not getting Lightning Storm. It's basically just an effect veiler. Its own effect is basically an effect veiler that locks a spell trap zone if set first. So it's nothing too special. And Power Wall just being a defense type card. I could see something like Drowning Mirror Force being a little bit better though, but it works. Moving on to the extra deck. Well, let's deal with these first. Cybernetic Horizon. Very, very, very good card. One of the best cards in my opinion. It's not only does it mill 3 cards, 1 from your hand, 1 from the deck, and 1 from the extra deck, it searches any cyber dragon or machine monster. You're locked into fusions that turn, cyber machine fusions, but it's still not bad. It's amazing effect. I mean, it's especially when you're able to power bond from the grave, which is the next card. Power bond, I don't really need to talk about. Fusion summon a machine using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials, double its attack, but during the end phase, you take damage equal to the attack it gained. And Overload Fusion just banishes from card, or from grave. So, yeah, right here it's just 38 cards. So, not all of them have been released, but at least the new Cyberdark support has. So, moving on to the extra deck, Cyber End Dragon. Not going to talk about, you're never going to summon this thing, maybe once in a lifetime. Over Dragon, very interesting card choice to add. I have mixed feelings about adding this. I can see the intention, but I wouldn't play it more than one if at all. There's better stuff that could be played. If they could have reprinted Infinity in here, that would have been better. Even just Nova. But um the Cyber Darkness. It is a very good negate. So yeah, this is probably what you're gonna summon more than the Cyber Dark End Dragon. But it's still a good card. Cyber Dark Dragon. I wish just got an alternate art in here or something. That would have been nice, but that's not really a huge concern. It's just a nice, useless card in here. You're never going to summon it. If anything, you're just going to send it to grave. And for the holy god of the deck, Cyber Dark End Dragon. Cyber Dark Dragon plus Cyber End Dragon. This art looks amazing. Oh my gosh, I love this art. It could have been a little bit of a better angle, but it was definitely an art that caught my eye. It was definitely a cool art. It's got a good effect too, with a little bit off about it. Must be fusion summoned or special summoned by basically cheating it out, which you're never gonna do. Unaffected by any activated monster. Sorry, let me try that again. Unaffected by any effect activated by your opponent. So it's unaffected by activated effects, basically. And once per turn, you can equip one monster from either graveyard to this card. This card's maximum attacks per battle equals to the number of cards equipped to it. So, not only if you have Cyber Darkness out, that can send any equipped card you control to the grave and negate. It also, at 5,000, if not 10,000, you're going to be smacking 2 attacks per turn, basically, which hurts. Give it piercing. Yeah. So, I'm just interested on what the few other cards, and I really hope that we're gonna get basically every card. Imperm being, that would be a nice card to get, but being a casual player, I can live with Effect Veiler. Lightning Storm, I definitely wish we get this one, but it's highly not gonna happen. I mean, we got cheated out of an evenly matched. That would have been a nice reprint. What did we get instead? Raigeki. What, the 20th reprint of Raigeki or something like that? But for the moment, this is going to be all I'm going to talk about in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the Cyber Dark archetype, new cards, everything that's in the deck basically. What would be some other reprints that would have been nice to add that weren't necessarily going to be game changing, but or maybe another Cyber Dark card like Cyber Dark Fusion, where you can fusion summon from your graveyard. But alright, we shall see. I will be coming up with a deck later today, basically using only cards from here. I think the deck's basically already made. And we'll go from there. Alright. Peace out, y'all.